Well, hey everybody, it's Annette Granger. It is time for Real Talk with Realtor Annette. Ask me anything. Well, today I am bringing to you one of the biggest issues, oh my gosh, this week. One of the biggest issues that should have never been an issue. And let's discuss how this problem could be prevented. And when you go to sell your house or buy a house, you'll never have this problem. We won't give and share any names, but I will say that the seller was representing himself and he was an agent. So that should tell you, yeah, he should know better. It has to do with the community association disclosure. If you purchase a home in a neighborhood or subdivision that is part of a homeowners association, there is going to be fees that are common, that are charged to the owner of that home. When you first purchase a home, not only are you going to pay your prorated share from the day of closing to the end of year, you also may pay other fees such as an initiation, a transfer fee, keys for the pool and the tennis area, amenity areas, and what have you. It is the job of the seller to properly inform the buyer as to what those fees are. The community association is never going to answer questions from a realtor or a buyer. They hardly will answer a question from the current owner. That's just the nature of community associations. So before you ever put your house on the market, call the community association and let them know that you're sending an email. You see what I'm saying? Call to let them know to answer the email because you want it in writing. You want to know what the homeowner association is a year, even though you're paying it. Make sure that there is no assessments that are coming up. Make sure that the amount hasn't changed. Understand if there is an initiation. There may not have been an initiation when you first bought your home, but I can tell you over the years, many and most will have some kind of initiation or other fees, any other fees that a buyer is going to have. Transfer fees, again, keys to the amenities, whatever they are. I'm getting ready to read to you the contract so that you understand how important this is. But it is your responsibility as a seller to provide the buyer with the information that is correct. You can update that buyer all you want, all the way up until the day of closing, but make no mistake about it. When you go binding on the contract, the community association disclosure that all parties signed is the one that the attorney is going to use, and any other fees that are discovered, that's a material change. That will allow your buyer to get out of the contract possibly. And if they don't get out of the contract, I can assure you, you're going to be paying for any error. Nobody cares if you didn't know or they just did it. No, it doesn't matter. You are going to pay for it. Let me read to you what the contract says initially and then what it goes on to say. So it says, seller agrees to fill out the disclosure accurately and to complete to the best of the seller's knowledge and to promptly update the buyers with any revised copy of the disclosure up until closing if new information is learned by the seller. So in my case, ring ring, I get a call from the closing attorney just days before closing. I'm representing the buyer and the attorney says, Annette, there's a $2,000 initiation. What do you want me to do? I'm like, put it on the seller's side. He did not properly disclose this amount. I then hung up the phone, and boy, did I just not want to deal with it because I knew it was going to be painful. But I called the seller, who's an agent, and I said, hey, seller, we just found out there was a $2,000 initiation, so when you see the settlement statement, you're going to see it on your side. Well, of course, the seller just immediately was gnashing at his teeth and did not want to do it, and pointed to this first part of the community association disclosure and said, my bad, I'm going to send you another one, and no, I'm not going to pay the initiation because it's typical that the buyers pay the initiation, which of course I know that, but that's only if you disclose it properly. Let's go on in the body of this same document, and I will point out to him, or I pointed out to Mr. Seller, exactly what the Community Association says about seller warranties. It says, seller warrants that the seller has accurately and fully disclosed all transfer and initiation fees and special assessment to the buyer. If any of these fees and or special assessments referenced are either not disclosed or increased from the initial disclosed to the buyer, then such increases or undisclosed fees or special assessments are actual seller fees. So guess what? I was able to get for my buyer and force the seller to pay for his mistake. He never called his association and just figured he knew what it was based on when he bought it. This could have all been avoided. So I want to help you rule in your next real estate transaction, and by doing so, it's all from a knowledge of someone who's been in the business for 20 years. Please check with your homeowners association and make sure you know what the fees are and any special assessment, any initiation, or any other fees that your buyer might have. And until then, leave me a comment and ask me anything that you want, because this is Asking at Anything. I love to teach the rules of real estate so you can rule in your next real estate transaction. If this has helped you, give me a thumbs up. I'd love it if you subscribe. And again, I love to hear from you. Until then, good selling. Bye.